style. Steve Dangle here, and did you know that it's an Olympic year this year? Well, like, in Olympic season. It's not happening in 2025. It's happening in 2026. No, the Four Nation Face-Off happened in 2025. Yeah, but the Four Nation Face-Off wasn't real. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
The president calls all the time! Yeah, good luck at the Ivan Holinka. He was on that call too! I want to look ahead to the 2026 Winter Olympics and what the Team USA roster could potentially look like. And the 4 teams that were featured at the Four Nation Face-Off are the easiest, quote-unquote, teams to project. A team like Czechia, for example, very well established and a solid hockey powerhouse nation, but they weren't in the Four Nation Face-Off, so it's a little harder. We haven't seen what their juiced up roster looks like. We have seen that for Team USA. So what did that team look like? Obviously, there was some mixing and matching, but the lines looked something like this. Brady and Matthew Tkachuk on the same line with Jack Eichel as the center. Of course, sometimes it wasn't Eichel. It was Austin Matthews. Oh my God. Then, of course, you have Jake Gensel, Austin Matthews, and Jack Hughes. JT Miller, Dylan Larkin, who was unbelievable, and Matt Boldy, Brock Nelson, Vinny Trocheck, Chris Kreider. Healthy scratch in a winner-take-all final game for some reason, Kyle Connor. On D, Zach Werenski and Jake Sanderson. Oh my gosh. Noah Hannafin, Adam Fox. Oh my gosh, until overtime. Jacob Slavin, another breakout guy, and Brock Faber, who was excellent. And of course, Charlie McAvoy, who was injured at that tournament. And the goalies, Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and this is a legit spelling mistake that I made in my notes, Jeremy Swagman. It's Swayman, but he'd be a lot cooler if he was Swagman. So, right away, looking at Team USA's roster, I mean, that's juice. But also, man, did they not have a lot of injury luck last year. Like, just some of their best players. Matthew Tkachuk was injured. He barely played in the winner-take-all final. Didn't play in the regular season after that. Returned in the playoffs. The playoffs went fairly well for him, you might remember. And there are reports coming out that supposedly he's had surgery and he's going to miss some time. Definitely the beginning of the season. Maybe not even going to come back until 2026. You got to assume, even if he doesn't play very much leading up to the Olympics, Matthew Tkachuk is going to make the team no matter what. But it's still something you got to consider. Austin Matthews, he has dealt with injuries over his career, and last year was significant. In fact, mid-NHL season, he flew to Europe to get an injury addressed. That's fairly serious. He did play in the tournament. He didn't play every game at the tournament. Jack Hughes, that guy looked like a potential MVP candidate. He goes down with an injury. Charlie McAvoy, holy cow, is he incredible. He goes down with an injury during that tournament and misses the rest of the season. That's a whole other kettle of fish. You'll have to ask the Minnesota Wild staff about that. Listen, on paper, assuming everyone is healthy, assuming this is a video game, that might be the best team at the tournament. I mean, what's the weakness? Beyond the baffling decision to leave Kyle Connor a healthy scratch! By the end of last season, Kyle Connor led all American players in the NHL in scoring with 97 points. He was second amongst American players in goals with 41, and he had 30 even strength goals. Scratching him in the final was unjustifiable. Who do you take out? I don't know, dude. Take your pick. Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, played like 6 minutes in that game. Okay, you scratch Matthew Tkachuk for a game like that. Okay, I understand. Kreider then! And the top scoring American? You find a spot! Hey, speaking of guys who could have made that roster, we gonna mention Quinn Hughes? Yeah, Jack Hughes looked like he could have been on an MVP run. He got hurt. Then Quinn Hughes looked like he could have won. There could have been 2 brothers nominated for the Hart Trophy. The same Hart Trophy last season. Both of them got hurt. So what's scary is the Team USA roster that went all the way to the final, looked dominant, went to overtime, shoulda and coulda won it 100 times. You know who they didn't have in that game? Charlie McAvoy. You know who they didn't have in that game? Quinn Hughes. You could just have a pair of guys who weren't in that game, and it might be the best pair in the tournament. Quinn Hughes finished 8th amongst all Americans in scoring last season. all of them. He's making the team. He finished second amongst D in scoring despite only playing in 68 games. Ew. Let's look at a few other names. Jason Robertson, another guy who got injured game 82, had a tough playoff as a result. He finished very high amongst American players last year. 6th, in fact, with 80 points in 82 games. This is mind-blowing. Tage Thompson did not make Team USA for the Four Nation Face-Off. He led all American skaters in goals with 44. Do you understand the top 2 American goal scorers did not make the gold medal final at the Four Nation Face-Off, and one of them, it was because he wasn't even named to the team. I'm not saying this to turn the knife. I'm saying this to show how much USA Hockey's cup runneth over. Alex DeBrincat had 39 goals and 70 points. Cole Caulfield had 37 goals and 70 points. If Chris Kreider is damaged goods and he's not able to return to form, hey, I got an idea for a replacement of a guy who can be a battering ram on your third or fourth line, Matthew Nyes. Did I say line or lime there? I meant line. You know what I meant. 29 goals, 29 assists. Is he your bang and crash replacement? The dude is a Jeep. And what's crazy is when I started making notes for this video of guys who could maybe be dark horse candidates to make Team USA, I put Lane Hudson. He was not invited to camp! Like, Greg Wyshynski, who is an American, made a great point. Like, is he gonna make the team? No. But you... camp? Jackson Lacombe's not going to make the team either, but you invited him to camp, for crying out loud. And no disrespect to Jackson Lacombe, maybe one of the more underrated players in the league because he's on the Ducks. Hudson didn't get an invite to the... What? Like, listen, here's the long and short of it with Team USA, without even predicting who ends up on the roster. They're going to have, on paper, the best team. They're going to have, on paper, the deepest team at basically every position. Up front, there's an argument. You could argue it's Canada, you can argue it's other countries, but I give it to USA. On D, it's stupid. Like, okay, Werenski, Sanderson, Hannafin, Fox, Slavin, Faber, McAvoy, Quinn Hughes. Take out 2. Take out 2. Who do you scratch amongst that group? Honestly, the name I'm coming up with, Faber, unfortunately, because of tenure, I'm scratching Adam Fox, I think. Maybe Hannafin? Maybe? It's probably Fox. And then you could run out Werenski, Sanderson, Hughes, McAvoy, Hannafin, Slavin? I don't know. And then in net, I mean, we saw at the Four Nation Face-Off the greatest demonstration, maybe in the history of hockey, that goaltending doesn't make any sense. Canada's goaltending was the topic of the Four Nation Face-Off in Canada for months leading up to it. People going, who the heck is going to make this team? And then named the goalies for the team. And we all came to the same conclusion. 1, our goalies aren't very good. 2, despite the fact that they're not very good, you also picked the wrong 3 goalies. Jordan Binnington was the only goalie at the tournament to play all 4 games. He was straight up not good for at least the first 2, and by the end of it, he was pretty much the sole reason they won. Then you have Connor Hellebuck in net for the Americans, who is literally the current reigning best goalie in the world, backed up by Jake Ottinger and Jeremy Swayman. Listen, all that to say, when the 2026 Olympics arrive, you would not be out of your mind to pick the Americans as your favorite. The only shame is that we won't get the same magic at the Olympics in terms of how insane that tournament was. Methinks there won't be a fight off the opening face-off and 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. The double IHF tends to not like that. And I'm sure Team USA would not be satisfied with, yet again, in a best-on-best tournament against Canada, beating Canada in the round robin and then failing in the elimination round. Failing in the gold medal game. I mean, you succeed in the games that don't really matter, and then you choke during the games that do? Oh! Is that why you guys like making fun of the Leafs so much? Oh! I get it now. I get it! Oh, I'm not even mad at you. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I just got it. Listen, Team USA is a talented bunch. They're a deep bunch, and they're a motivated bunch. They know what happened. They saw the fallout. I don't think they enjoyed reading or seeing or watching or listening to any of it. Being in the game probably sucked too. But sleep on this hockey team at your own peril. They are a wagon. So, what do you think Team USA is going to look like? How do you get Kyle Connor on that team and in the lineup? How do you get Tage Thompson on that team and in the lineup? McAvoy and Quinn Hughes are making that team, beginning, middle, end. Who do you take out for those two? Do you continue with Hellebuck as the starting goalie? Of course you do, unless you don't. Let me know in the comment box down below. For now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. February should be fascinating. Okay, stop it, Steven. You have a video to shoot.